It's about time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Quick Cast episode 15. My name is Jeremy Paul, aka Sleepy Juice, and this is StarCraft 2, so let's get into it. Today, we are going to be looking at a PvZ between our blue Protoss player GBY. I don't know how to pronounce that without vowels, so I'll just let you guys figure that out. And our red Zerg player, the hero, Lucoda. Now, Lucoda submitted this game for me, so he is by far the favored player here. We want him to win, so if you are not going for Lucoda, like if you're a Protoss fanboy, turn the game off now and go watch Maximum Black, because that's where you belong. Now, back to this game. This game is going to be taking place on Yansu. Now, Yansu is a very, people have mixed feelings about it. It has the weird island expansions on the top left and the bottom right. Has the very bizarre, I don't know where to put my third situation, where you have the one that's a little bit pushed forward, that's really wide open, or the one off to the right where you have to actually get through the destructible rocks if you want to be able to defend it. It's a very odd map, but in this case here, it doesn't matter, because as with all quick casts, we want to find some lesson in the game, and we want to learn for new players and for people who are just picking up the game. And today we are going to learn about cheese. And the person we have cheesing today is Goodbye. Now, he's going for a forge in base, which by itself is not in fact cheese. He can fast expand, forge fast expand with the forge in base. That is a legitimate build order. It's not commonly used because it is a little bit dangerous, but instead he's going to just wall off the main base of the Zerg player with pylons. Now, the good scouting here by Lucoda. Lucoda was being a little bit greedy. He wasn't going for a drone scout at all. He was basically going with his Overlord scout and just scouting around the base. Now, we do have the first cannon coming down, but here come the drones. We have a total of, it looks like, 8 drones coming down. Oh, and more. We have more drones coming down. Now we're up to 9, 10, 11. So he is going to try to break down these pylons, because if the pylons go down, obviously he's able to cut off the power to the cannon, but then he's able to get units out there. As it is right now, with the pylons getting high ground vision and the cannons down below, the Lings can't really do a whole lot if they want to go, and you have to go with spine crawlers and queens and a lot of good transfusions. Now he is pulling back the drones to kind of get back to work, and it does look like those drones outside are going to get picked off, and one's even walled off. Now this drone here is going to escape, so we'll see what he does with that. So step 1 to cheese, as by our friend Goodbye. Commit to a very interesting and hopefully surprise tactic, one base all in. Now he is building a gateway there because he's can't build cannons on creep. so he's going to have to transition out of this at some point, otherwise he'll just get, you know, one base muted to death. That would actually be something I would like to see. So we do have a drone down here in the bottom right base. He looks like he's going to try to expand there. Now, expansions are really important for Zerg players. First off, it gives them more income, which they're going to need, but secondly, it gives them larvae, which they're going to need to make units. It's not like they can keep making barracks or gateways to continue making units. Now, the queen here is going to start defending against this forward cannon pushes. He's going to try to edge in on the creep there and see if he can get in there to take out stuff, but we already have the spine crawler, another spine crawler going down, and spine crawlers actually do very well with queen support against cannons because you can get transfused. The range and DPS is just as good. It's a very good counter. You can build them right off the bat basically, so it's all very good. He does have a spawning pool down, so he is able to get Lings out also, but Lings against cannons are not always the best option. Now, great micro right there by the queen. The queen's able to pull back. It's able to target the cannon onto both the other queen and then again to the spine crawler, and then able to pick off that cannon. That was a very good micro. Now, that's something for lower league players. It's if you do that StarCraft Masters game and it has one where you actually go in with stalkers and you pull back and the spine crawler has to attack the other stalker. It's that basic thing, that AI from the defending unit. It goes out of range. It doesn't know to keep trying to focus fire that unless you tell it to. So it's going to go with something else. So great micro there. He's able to power down that bottom cannon. It looks like the Protoss player is going to peek out there and try to put a pylon in the far back to keep this cannon rush alive. Now he is actually putting a lot of money into this cannon rush, so it is an all or nothing at this point, and he is kind of working on that second follow-up, which we'll talk about in a second, but right now the cannon rush is it. He's not expanding. He's staying in that one base. He has scouted the second base for the Zerg player now, so he is aware that there is a second base, but this pylon's going to go down, and with that, it's going to go down all the high ground vision. Now, here we have another cannon rush coming down on the third base, or well, the second base, I'm sorry, of the Zerg player. So that second base is going to start getting shelled also, but he is wasting more and more minerals into that. Meanwhile, step 2 to cheesing is this. When your first one base all-in cheese fails, continue with a second one base all-in. Now, in this case, he's going for a mass amount of Void Rays, it looks like. The first Void Ray just starts. It's going for multiple Stargates, pumping out Void Rays. He's not going to have money with all these cannons for any other units. So maybe he'll get maybe 3 or 4 Zealots with all these Void Rays, but he's going to try to catch it off guard. See if he can pull it down. If there's anything like roaches or just spine crawlers, it's all going to die. So that's what he's going for. Now, Queens, oddly enough, do really well against Void Rays on their own, so it's something to keep in mind. Now, the Spine Crawler is going to take out these last couple cannons here, and then he'll be able to move down, take out that pylon, and actually expand. The question is if he wants to expand with all the pressure that's coming in, because if he goes and peeks out the Protoss base, still no expansion. Now, meanwhile, the second base is getting shelled. We have the Overlords getting out of there before any damage is really done. The Lings are going to go in there and try to push out those cannons, but they're not going to be able to do that much damage. There's only 3 Lings and 2 cannons. Meanwhile, we do have the Void Rays coming out, and they are going to get spotted by this Overlord here. He's going to activate a charge and try to take out this Overlord really fast. Now, loss of an Overlord is sad because you lose the supply, but that's great scouting right there. He knows what's coming, and he already has the Hydralisk Den finishing up. So Queens and Hydralisks, plus, oh, great transfuses right there. He's down there trying to take out this thing and able to save that Queen with a great transfuse, pulls that Queen all the way back up, another transfuse on that Queen, and finally this cannon's going to go down. That was a great micro job there by... Oh, all these Lings have taken out the cannons, but the base is finally going to get taken out by the actual Void Rays here. Now, we do have a lot of units killed for the Zerg player, but that's not counting how many cannons were killed by the Protoss player. We look at how much more minerals have been lost for the Protoss player. So, that second base is going down. That's going to be a hit. He does have a Roachworn coming down. I'm sorry, Hydralisk Den coming down. He must have had the Roachworn finished before. So he's trying to get out that anti-air. He already has Spores already in the base. He has a Natural coming down. He has Queens coming out. He has the Hydralisks finishing now. He's going to try to get as much anti-air as you can, and in this case, that's actually going to work really well. Normally, you're worried those Hydras are going to get picked off by Speed Zealots or by Force Fields or by Colossi, but in this case, there's no possible way that the Protoss player can afford any of that because he's on his second cheese for the game. So we do have the Queens coming in. There's only 3 Void Rays at the moment, so they're going to come in, deal with these Spore Crawlers here off to the side, and they're going to try to take out this Natural. Now, I don't see this Natural actually surviving. It's unfortunate that he's trying to get this down, but is just unable to really get any traction with the expansion. He's probably going to have to go with a different plan here, and I think I know what he has in mind, but we'll see what he ends up going with that. So that Natural is going to go down. The Void Rays are going to back off. We do have the Queens out. We have Hydralisks coming out. There's another Queen coming out. We do have upgrades on the Hydralisk coming out. So he is slowly moving that towards that complete anti-Void Ray army. And as you can see, there are no other units at right now. There is nothing to deal with these Hydralisks. Then the Hydralisks and Queens are going to do very well against Void Rays because Void Rays are basically anti-armor areas. So yes, if you get enough of them to a critical mass, you can, and we lose a Void Ray there, you can deal with a lot of stuff, and that's why mass Void Ray still happens on much lower leagues. But for higher league games, they are basically anti-armor. They are not going to deal with light units. That's what your Phoenix are for. That's what your Oracles are for, like early game and like PvT. So Void Rays is not really going to be a good answer here against all these Hydras. Now Lucoda's being dedicated, is going to try to attempt to expand again, and it's going to work as a great bait here, taking out another Void Ray and actually scaring the Void Rays all the way back. Now the question is if that expansion is ever going to get up fully. Now we do have the Lings coming in here, and they're going to notice that there is still no second base for the Protoss player. So they're going to, at some point, try to poke up there and see if they can see. Basically, they know what they're going to see at this point. They're going to see a bunch of Stargates and a Forge, because that's all he had. And you can see we even have more gateways coming down finally, so he is going to start following this up with some sort of gateway pressure. Question is if it's going to be able to handle any sort of amount of Hydras, because Hydras are really high DPS units for Zerg, so they have a little bit of like glaring faults. Like they're really bad against Colossi and such things, but against Gateway units, they're going to shred. And the only thing is that they don't do incredibly well against like Speed Zealots, but they're still not bad. They're gonna handle the job, plus take out all the Void Rays. Now we do see the Void Rays trying to peek in and do a little bit of damage, but really they're just taking out a single defensive structure and that's it. They're all against stuck. And now we do see the expansion getting up for the natural there for Lucoda, but also we see a Nidus network. Now, the beauty of the Nidus network in this case, and it's something that's not very commonly used, you see he has this nice open gateway here to the back of the base. Great there. Good planning. But, so he sees he has that opening. The Void Rays are very slow. He sees there's no Mothership Core, so there is no way for the Void Rays to get all the way back home to deal with it. So, in this case, what Lucoda has is Lucoda has an entry point that nobody can get back to defend against, and also a retreat point as long as it doesn't get picked off. And since there's no Void Rays back there on the other side, he's going to be able to retreat right back through that Nidus Worm back to the right in between his natural and his main. That's great positioning. Now he's going to come in here and he's going to be able to wreak havoc. Now the question is the Protoss player, when he sees this, is he going to go for some sort of defense and pull back because he has no Mothership Core, so he can't recall? Or is he going to go for the base trade? Now it looks like he's pulling back, but no, I think he's figured it out. There's no chance he's going to get there, and they're just going to pull right back out again. So he's going to go for it. He's going to push the natural here. Now what Lucoda is doing is Lucoda is going to come in here, start picking off a bunch of probes if he can, and then he's going to pull back instantly, right back into the Nidus Worm. He's going to come right out as the Void Rays are coming out into the choke point there. So he needs to get down this ramp, which is kind of a hard thing, but otherwise that Protoss army still is kind of stuck out here in the middle of nowhere. So he's going to force his way all the way down the ramp right now. Now, the probes are just running away. There's nothing left in the main base here. There's no Zerg units there killing anything, but those probes are running all the way up to the top left here. Now, this is tons of mining time lost, and there's no income now for the Protoss player. No income means no reinforcements, and meanwhile, these Hydras are just shredding through every Gateway unit on there and down to the last Void Ray. Now, you can see that he is, on the left there, he is going to make a Nexus on the top left, but it appears that this game may already be over. He's already popping out, the Nexus going down there, and he's already coming out again on to the Protoss base. Now, step 3 in cheese is BM. You need to be a jerk when you cheese. It doesn't matter if you're a nice guy normally, you need to be a jerk. And as you can see, a lot of this BM doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but just remember that you lost because the other person is awful. That's the point to BM, right? And the point to cheese. Just tell yourself that. So great game here from Lucoda. Handled the enormous amount of cheese incredibly well. He was able to stay calm, kept trying to expand, finally got an expansion up, and then with a great strategical decision created a Nidus Worm into the main base of the Protoss because he saw no Mothership Core, so there was no retreating, and he knew that because of the earlier cheese, there was no units there to defend because those Void Rays are expensive as shit. So, great game from Lucoda. It was a fun game from the point of goodbye. It was something where I'm sure he went in there, he's like, alright, I probably lost the last 6 games in a row, I'm just going to cheese. So, it was a fun game. We love seeing cheese games. It does make a little bit more satisfying when the player who's not cheesing wins. So, good game there. Now, as far as everybody watching this, please go to my Twitter, my Facebook, and follow me. Please like and subscribe to this video and all that other things we say at the end of every single YouTube video. Now, please go out, play games, and have fun.